The Apple Vision Pro is about to single-handedly 100x the crypto metaverse in gaming coins. Let me explain. Now, if we look back on the last crypto metaverse run, it happened extremely fast. But if you were smart and were following me on Twitter, I said invest heavily into the metaverse. Shortly after that, Mark Zuckerberg changed the name from Facebook to Meta, and that was all that it took to create this huge metaverse boom, of which you can see here, I got into Mana at 84 cents and then again at 97, and I sold between $3.80 and $5. I made like 300 grand that week. Now, a lot of you probably weren't very quick to get in like that unless you were following me or following my YouTube channel prior to that happening. And unfortunately, a lot of you guys probably continued to buy on the way up and getting duped, and now we're down 93%. But I'm here to tell you today that I believe the Apple Vision Pro is gonna single-handedly save the metaverse. I believe in it so much that I'm setting aside personally $500,000 to start dollar cost averaging into these 12 particular coins that I want to talk about today. In fact, I already bought in $50,000 worth of these coins last week that I alerted in my Telegram group. If you're new here, definitely hit subscribe. My name is Fous. I've been trading professionally for the last 20 years. I've made millions of dollars in both bull and bear markets. And the purpose of this channel is to educate you guys by showing you exactly what I'm personally doing with my money. But I tend to personally make money, so it's up to you if you want to follow or not. In addition, hit that notification bell so you can get immediately alerted when I release these time-sensitive videos. So let's first just talk about the metaverse ecosystem that Zuckerberg has essentially failed to do. I personally bought one of the Oculus Quests, and it is an amazing experience. VR is insane. I think the latest Quest is something like $300-400. I still don't see anybody actually using it. I actually sold mine because it was so uncomfortable and gave me a headache. Now, when we look at Apple is usually the one who creates something that all of a sudden it becomes a thing. I believe Apple's Vision Pro is gonna be the thing that we actually start people wearing in public, and it actually just becomes a normal thing to see people wearing AR and VR headsets out in public, whereas right now, you probably only see people doing it in the privacy of their own home. I was watching an interview with the Oculus Quest creator. He said in order for AR and VR to become mainstream, it first has to become a highly desirable product. And right now, the Meta Quest simply isn't that desirable. Apple is probably the only company in the world that can actually make that happen. Now you might be thinking, well, it's too expensive. That's why it's going to be a desirable product, because they're putting in the time and money to create a very high-end product to then make it desirable. And what we know about Apple is they always come out with a super high-end product, and then later down the line, after they go and test this product and it becomes this insane phenomenon, they then release lower tiered products, of which they will eventually do with the AR headset, the Vision Pro. If you watch MKB HD's tech review of the Apple Vision Pro, he said using this thing is like the closest thing to magic he's ever experienced. So clearly, Apple has done something right, and this is just the first version of their product. And I do believe this is what's gonna take AR and VR mainstream, and that's what's gonna really start triggering the metaverse boom in crypto, because it's gonna become this ecosystem where everyone can start building Web3 products within Apple. We all already know that Apple secretly placed Bitcoin white papers on every single Apple computer, so they obviously have interest in crypto and are probably gonna soon be integrating with Web3 projects in the future. So one of the biggest reasons why Web3 is gonna integrate big into the metaverse, especially with AR and VR, such as the Apple Vision Pro, is going to be your in-game identity or your in-metaverse identity. Now, we're all gonna have NFT items that are gonna be part of your own unique identity. It's gonna create an economy within all these actual ecosystems. And obviously, if you play any games like Call of Duty, or even I'm playing the new Diablo right now, the entire experience of playing the game is just getting new items for your character. That's what makes it so fun, is you play the game, you get a new armor piece, you get a new sword, you get a new helmet, and that's what makes the game fun, is by continually creating this character and developing it over time. Right now, we're just doing it inside of video games. Inside the metaverse, we're actually gonna do it with actual person, with our actual selves and our actual own characters inside this game inside of these Apple Vision Pro. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes, but it's clearly going to be involved and integrated with Web3 and NFTs in the near future, I believe. So, all right, guys, let's get into these top 12 coins that I have recently purchased in, of which I alerted on June 17th in my Telegram group. I said, greeting wolves. I began to DCA portfolio into the meta with the release of Apple's new Vision headset and the fact they secretly have Bitcoin white papers. I can't help but wonder when Apple and Web3 will combine into VR, AR, metaverse ecosystem. I personally can't wait to buy Apple's new headset. So I'll be setting aside about $500K, well, $450,000 and invest and continue to DCA lower. I just bought $50,000 of these coins. So let's talk about what those 12 coins were, my friends. The first one up is Immutable X. The future of gaming awaits. Build with unmatched speed, scale, flexibility, and immutable, simple end-to-end Web3 solutions. Fuel your game's growth and captivate players like never before. Now, this is one of the biggest things that you got to be looking for right now is gaming infrastructure and metaverse infrastructure. Now we can clearly bet on single games like such as a few that you'll see later in here that I am actually invested in, but it's a little bit more risky because that's like betting on a single game. It's like betting on Call of Duty versus betting on the actual company that makes Call of Duty in a big portfolio of games like Blizzard or something, okay, or Activision. We also want to be part of not only individual games, but more importantly, the ecosystems or actual framework for these actual games. So Immutable X is basically a portfolio, a lot of different things within the crypto gaming and metaverse, such as Illuvium, of which is actually a coin that I'm in. So I did buy into Immutable X right down here at about 59 cents. Now, mind you, I did get into these games right around here at about $25,000. I covered my shorts on my Bitcoin, and then I got long on the dip as we were right into this heavy support level on these 12 coins. So that was the first coin that I got into was IMX. The next one that I got into was the Engine coin. ENJ. Engine is basically a big ecosystem for NFTs within games and within the crypto metaverse. So they're basically going to be the infrastructure for NFTs for in-game ecosystems. So I'm definitely long in ENJ. I definitely like the chart also. If we look at what's going on here on ENJ, this saw a huge dip down to these lows here at about 23 cents. We saw that massive sell off to the downside. And then I bought in here at about 25 cents on ENJ. I do believe we have a lot of upside, at least to 54 cents. But if we look at the long term on a lot of these gaming coins, guys, we have so much upside potential. If we saw a new run to new highs in these gaming coins in the metaverse, this is going to be a massive opportunity to buy in here and start dollar cost averaging lower and lower as we go. The next coin that I got into, guys, was Gala Games, which is basically just a big portfolio of games. They're kind of like the Candy Crush of the crypto gaming community. So it's interesting to see what they got going on for Gala Games, but I definitely like the ecosystem. Again, it's a portfolio of games, not just one single game. So I like what Gala Games is doing, and I like the team that they have put together here. We have a great setup on Gala. As we retested these lows here, we saw that huge spike to the downside, and we've basically been up ever since. I got in here again at about 21 cents. Again, I bought in about $5,000 each coin as of right now, just about $50,000 to $60,000 of that 450 that I have. The next coin that we're going to talk about here, guys, is Ultra, the future of gaming. This is essentially like the Steam of gaming. If you play any sort of online PC game, you're probably going to be doing it through Steam powered, which was created by Valve. A lot of it basically was originated and went mainstream by the Counter-Strike game. Basically what Ultra is doing is trying to create a similar ecosystem and software application for crypto gaming. If we look at UOS, we retested super duper lows down here at about 17 cents, of which I got long here, basically a big bear trap to the downside. And then we've now gone up to about 19 cents. I still do believe we could potentially come down to about 10 cents here, of which I'll be dollar cost averaging the entire way down. After that, guys, we got Wilder World. They seem to have kind of like the coolest looking metaverse that they're creating, and kind of like hip. It's kind of like the Westworld, but futuristic version in the actual metaverse ecosystem. I like what they're doing. It's hard to say what their latest kind of things, but the last I saw, they brought in people from designers from Nike to start doing all the NFT shoes. So this is kind of exactly what it would look like, you know, something really cool. Imagine have your Apple Vision Pro on, you have all these really cool your car, your kicks, your cribs, your land, your guild, and you're doing that all within an Apple Vision Pro on the Unreal 5 engine. Now, that would be something I would find very, very fun and entertaining to be part of that ecosystem. I've traded Wild many times for huge, huge gains, and now I'm back in again. I got in at about 33 cents. It's not that far up from there. But again, Wild is setting up at a very bullish revival pattern breakout and has huge upside potential, all the way up to potential new highs about $7. If we start breaking out over the 50s level, I definitely think we're gonna see a quick, easy $1 run. But in the long term, if we did see another big boom in the crypto metaverse, this is definitely going to new all-time highs and beyond. The next coin up here, guys, is the esports token of crypto, Veracity. I definitely like this coin, and when it runs, it absolutely runs. So I did pick up a little bit of a bag here on VRA. Again, these are not big positions as of right now, just $5,000 per coin. I do still think we can come all the way back down to 0.0025, but just look at the kind of gains that we can see on VRA when it runs. Just a quick, easy 365% on that last quick run that we saw. Right now, I did buy in down here to 0.0042. If we look back here, guys, to go to all-time highs again, we have a lot of room to run. For VRA, that would be a 1,500% runner here to retest those all-time highs. As of right now, if we do break out above this descending trend line, that would kind of be the first initial trigger, as we are actually kind of breaking out above it right now, and now having a bull flag, which could see the next leg up if we break out above 0.0053 to the next resistance level about 0.0073. But as of right now, guys, this is more so a DCA strategy looking for the next bull run in crypto and the next bull run in the metaverse. So I'm not really looking at the technicals too much on these. Yes, I have about $1 million in a day trading account, in swing trading account, that I'll be trading these also simultaneously. But right now, I just have this money set aside for a longer term hold. The next token that I bought into, guys, is none other than the Sandbox. Obviously, this is probably the most well-known NFT land metaverse game out there. I've traded this thing many, many times, and I do believe that Sand will always be part of this actual metaverse and gaming ecosystem. We saw a perfect bear trap buy-in. We got down below these lows at about 37 cents. I bought in right as we started spiking back up there, about 37. We're now back up about 42 cents. Overall, obviously, this is one of the most well-known crypto gaming and metaverse coins out there. Also one of the most funded and also one of the best teams behind this coin. So if there is gonna be a boom in the crypto metaverse and gaming run, Sand is definitely gonna be a big part of it. Which brings me to my next coin, which is kind of the sister or brother coin of Sand, none other than Mana, just as I traded Mana previously from 84 and 97 all the way up to about $5 per coin in just a short amount of time. Mana, again, is basically the sister and brother of Sand. So I definitely think Mana is gonna play a big role in the crypto metaverse and gaming as of right now. Similar setup on Mana. We came back down and retested about 30 cents. I got in right down here to about 33.9 just before this actually made that nice big run to the upside. But as you can see, guys, this thing is down like 93% from those previous all-time highs. So when we're down 93%, this is the time to be potentially start dollar cost averaging in, not when we see a massive 300% spike and then trying to buy the top, which you can see what happens when you try to buy into those. You get absolutely crushed. So right now, I'm slowly dollar cost averaging into these coins. The next one, again, is Vulcan Forge, guys. Basically just another gaming ecosystem. You can see they are the Vulcan Forge. They have an NFT ecosystem, a marketplace, a DEX, and also other games that are within their portfolio. So I definitely like that they have a little bit more of an ecosystem and not just a single game. This has actually been running quite nicely. Off the lows here, I got in down here to in the 290s, and now we're starting to spike back up to about 330. Again, technicals here, not that interesting, but we are forming up this kind of descending triangle. A breakout above about $4 per coin could be the trigger to see the next leg up on PYR. Next coin up here, guys, is none other than the Ape coin. Now, obviously, one of the most well-known coins, the biggest NFT project out there, and they also have the other side project, which is their kind of crypto metaverse NFT land thing that's going on. So that's going to be powered by the ApeCoin. So it's hard to say if they're going to pull that off or not, but as of right now, ApeCoin is extremely depressed in price, going down breaking down these lows, breaking down these lows. Now on new lows again, I got in here to ApeCoin, again, just $5,000 per position at about 214. It's literally on all-time lows. So I do believe there is a high risk reward to see another move to the upside for ApeCoin in the future, but I am planning for these things to continually drop to the downside, and I'll continually add if we go lower. The next coin that I want to talk about, guys, is Illuvium. Probably the coolest looking game that's being developed right now. Let's just take a look at what's going on in this trailer. Whoever is developing this game is doing a really good job as far as the visuals. I haven't played it, so I'm not sure what it's actually going to be like, but from a visual standpoint, this is looking like an absolutely really cool game that's going to be completely Web3 enabled with NFTs. I'm not sure if they're doing a play to earn thing or not, but Illuvium is definitely looking like a cool game. If we look at the chart, it is extremely depressed in price, coming back down to about $46 per coin. I do believe we could easily come back down to 38, of which I'll continually dollar cost average. If there's any sort of boom in crypto gaming going forward, Illuvium is definitely going to be on board, on the trend, and continually to grind price action up. As we've seen time and time again, look how far this thing has potential to go. It's now at 46 cents. It was upwards of $2,000 per coin before. And last but not least, guys, is Seedify, aka S Fund, which is basically just the launch pad for new upcoming games. So you can get in at seed round prices to potentially get in. I don't personally do this on any of these kind of like trying to get in. If I'm gonna try to get in a game, I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna try to meet the founders or something and be like, hey, I wanna invest in your product. This is very difficult to do, but you can invest in Seedify, actually the coin, because they are the kind of framework for getting new games launched and doing the marketing for them. If we look at the price action on the chart, perfect looking potential bear trap here, breaking down below these new recent lows at 78 cents. I did buy in at about 75. It can still definitely go lower, but as of right now, again, guys, we are extremely depressed in price right now on a lot of these coins, and that is the last coin that I bought into. You can see my first initial buy-ins on these coins, guys, were here, 5,000 bucks each. Well, 5,200 on Wild, all the way down to 4,900 for S Fund. And then you can see the updated list here after those things spike was now about 6,300 on VRA, because VRA made a nice run, as well as all these other coins that then started pushing up in price action. Now, so this is just a small introductory to me dollar cost averaging. I have no idea what's going to happen to these coins. This is me just making a bet on Apple Vision Pro and them integrating with Web3. If we look back at all it takes to make a big run, Zuckerberg just said, hey, we're changing the name from Facebook to Meta. That triggered a 1,000% move in just a few weeks on Mana. But I'm warning you guys, I do believe we could have a lot more potential downside. Bitcoin, yes, just made a run to $30,000. We still don't know what's going to happen with the XRP Ripple case, of which I am currently long right now. But if Ripple loses, that's going to create a lot of problems for a lot of these coins, because they could be classified as securities and get delisted from American exchanges. It doesn't mean they're completely dead. A lot of them can operate outside of the US and still survive. You have to factor in all these things and know that these coins can go much, much lower from here, and never invest any money that you can't afford to lose, okay? Because this is extremely risky, and I want you to be careful out there. Don't put your entire life on the line swinging for the fence. So that's what I'm currently doing with about $450,000 of my own personal money. I'll potentially be adding to that. I don't know. Again, this is for a longer term hold that I'm dollar cost averaging into. Has nothing to do with my active trading where I'm swing trading, getting in, getting out, which I'll probably trade all these coins actively as well. But anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today's video. If you want to watch another video that I made last year telling you exactly how to identify 100x coins before they actually blow up, I have a whole video explaining my kind of rationale, logic, and theory behind that. I'll post it right here. You can go watch that right now. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.